Cedar Point is often considered a clear-cut victor when it comes to the best amusement park in America, but I think that may soon change. Six Flags Magic Mountain has an elite lineup, but is still widely considered the weaker park. However, I think the tables could turn on Cedar Point with a single addition to Magic Mountain. In today's video, I'll be exploring the future of both Cedar Point and Magic Mountain, which not only reflects on those two parks, but both chains as a whole, and why I think Magic Mountain will take Cedar Point's crown as the roller coaster capital of the world in the coming decades. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing because it really helps out the channel. Let's jump straight into the video. Magic Mountain is without question the crown jewel of the Six Flags chain and their favorite park. In summer of 2022, they will receive Wonder Woman Flight of Courage, an RMC single rail coaster and a near clone of Jersey Devil at Six Flags Great Adventure. This will be their 20th coaster, which gives them 3 more than Cedar Point. But everyone knows the phrase, quality over quantity, and that definitely applies here. 4 of Magic Mountain's roller coasters are for kids, and the park only has 2 ultra-elite coasters, an X2 and Twisted Colossus, but boasts the strongest supporting cast of coasters in the country with Full Throttle, Tatsu, Apocalypse, West Coast Racers, and more. Up until 2018, Cedar Point wasn't much better, with only Maverick and Millennium Force as elite coasters, but also boasting a strong supporting cast with Valraven, Gatekeeper, and more. Then in 2018, Cedar Point hired RMC to turn Mean Streak into the hybrid masterpiece Steel Vengeance, putting Magic Mountain's dream to be the premier roller coaster destination on hold. That dynamic still stands today, as Wonder Woman won't hold a torch to Steel Vengeance. However, since 2018, Magic Mountain has added both West Coast Racers and now Wonder Woman, compared to Cedar Point adding nothing, and it looks like nothing new will be coming to Cedar Point in 2023 either. That's almost 5 years without adding a new coaster, which was unprecedented at Cedar Point. So what's going on? A simple explanation is the shutdown of the parks during the pandemic, but I think it's deeper than that. Even before the pandemic, Cedar Fair said be adding less major additions to their park each year. And during the pandemic, Six Flags was very creative with their parks by creating Holiday in the Park drive-thrus and all sorts of other safe events, while Cedar Fair did nothing and didn't reopen most of their parks until 2021. And even now that they're open, all the parks have reduced operating hours compared to pre-pandemic. This is significantly reducing the profits Cedar Fair makes, giving them less cash to make major investments. I'm not saying Six Flags is in great shape either, because the massive shakeup at the top, including a new CEO, could signal that the company is in trouble. Despite this, even during the pandemic, Six Flags announced the addition of 2 new roller coasters to their parks, including Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger, a B&M dive coaster that will be heading to Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. This is the first time Six Flags has worked with B&M for nearly a decade since X-Flight at Six Flags Great America. B&M is currently the main producer of Giga Coasters, or roller coasters with a drop of over 300 feet and a chain lift. Currently, Cedar Fair is the only chain to buy a Giga Coaster, but with Six Flags working with B&M again, could this be a possibility for Magic Mountain? Well, maybe. Max Force, the S&S Air Launch coaster Six Flags added to Great America in 2019, cost $15 million, and West Coast Racers is estimated to have cost around $20 million. Both of these coasters were added in the same year, in addition to all the other attractions Six Flags added to the rest of their parks. The total cost of all the additions could have been around $50 million or more. Orion, the 2020 Giga Coaster at Kings Island, cost $30 million. So if Six Flags was to build a Giga on that scale, they could have $20 million to spare even after that investment. When thinking like this, a Giga seems like a real possibility for their flagship park, especially now that they stopped giving each park a new ride every year. It is also frustrating because if Six Flags saved up, they could have easily added a large-scale addition like a Giga rather than 2 medium additions like West Coast Racers and Wonder Woman. I think the new CEO might be a good thing just to change things up and maybe take a look at Cedar Fair's success when adding a single major addition each year rather than a bunch of small ones. Six Flags Magic Mountain would easily have a stronger lineup than Cedar Point with the Fury 325 type Giga. B&M isn't the only one who could build this type of coaster. Mock Rides is thrown around by a lot of enthusiasts, but I'm not a big fan of this idea. Their coasters focus less on airtime and more on inversions, which Magic Mountain already has plenty of. It really isn't any cheaper than B&M, so this seems like an unlikely option. A new generation of intimate Giga, like Hyperion, could also be great. Maybe Six Flags could hire Vekoma to build some sort of coaster that focuses on floater airtime. I'm not really sure. Heck, even a B&M Hyper would push them over Cedar Point, but that seems unlikely with Goliath. Perhaps if that Knott's Giga coaster comes to fruition, it could push Magic Mountain to add some kind of serious new thrill ride with floater airtime. An Access coaster is being thrown around too, but that just seems like a gimmick rather than a real coaster addition. With that Giga coaster likely coming to Knott's, Cedar Point could be looking at an even longer coaster drought, leaving them as a sitting duck if Magic Mountain is to add another major new coaster. Overall, I think the future is brighter than I originally thought coming out of the pandemic for both chains and the industry as a whole. I think over the next decade, Magic Mountain could pass Cedar Point and become the premier roller coaster destination of the world. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, and remember to like and subscribe.